Welcome, everyone, into this two-part vertical MRO podcast. Today, on our podcast, we're excited to welcome the prestigious Mr. Howie T. Murray, a veteran of the aviation industry with over 30 years of experience. In part one, we talk with Howie, who's the president of Murray Industries Ltd, where he applies his expertise in aerospace systems, engineering, and product development to create innovative solutions for a wide range of aerospace projects. As a seasoned AME, Howie brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. He currently provides contract AME services to VIH Helicopters, drawing on his background as a former director of maintenance at companies like Transwest and Airborne Energy Solutions. Howie's expertise extends beyond traditional aviation. He's also involved in the automotive field, where he reverse engineers and develops aftermarket parts. His diverse skill set is backed by multiple certifications in aircraft maintenance and systems engineering, including a prestigious MIT xPRO certificate in architecture of complex systems and models in engineering. There's a mouthful. A true heli nerd, our kind of guy. Welcome to Vertical MRO, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite listening platform. I'm Val. Let's get this started. Special thanks to our sponsors for this podcast, Safe Structure Designs and Rotorcraft Repair and Manufacturing.
Welcome to the Vertical MRO podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts.
All right, everyone, you're ready to contact. You're cleared to the Bravo.
The Vertical MRO podcast explores the fascinating world of helicopter maintenance, repair, and overhaul with your host, Val Medved.
Now, line altimeter 3029, approved as requested.
The podcast features helicopter technicians, mechanics, engineers, and MRO experts who share invaluable industry insight, knowledge, and stories that will inspire current and aspiring industry maintainers.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Vertical MRO. I'm your host, Val Medved, flying sans solo. John is out on family missions and being well and told what to do. He's just doing a little bit right now, but he's taking care of the family. But it is an absolute pleasure today. I am on with a very, very special guest, a good friend of mine, DOM of a couple of companies, personal responsible maintenance, generally speaking, turbine expert, commercially, militarily, and some secret stuff. We might get into the secret stuff, but I don't know how much we can get away with there. 3D printer god, and a patent holder for two engine lines in the Rolls-Royce 250 and 300. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my good friend, Mr. Howie Murray. Say what's up, Howie.
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Val?
Well, good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm great.
You got to be on cloud nine right now. Prior to recording this, we were just talking about Howie's new endeavors.
Oh, yeah. Well, moving to a new house. That's exciting.
Moving to a new house, and you beat me to the spot that I probably want to have my end game at. So congratulations on living on the island, brother. Well done.
Yeah. Well, it's a long time coming. I lived in BC before. My mom is actually grew up in Nanaimo. And I've got an uncle that lives down the road somewhere, and I got a cousin up just in the south end of Nanaimo. If anyone's listening who's in the heli logging world long enough back, David Dorney, that's my guy.
Dude, we're a show of shout outs, so if you have a shout out, give it by all means.
Cool. I got a couple.
Yeah. All right, we'll reference them as we go along.
Cool.
Congratulations to you and Robin on the house, buddy. Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done. You're an avid listener. Thank you very much for your support. Anybody else who's listening, subscribe and like us here. That's what we're kind of all about. We're going to bring these unique individuals and fun individuals as much as we can keep it legally fun is the goal.
Yeah.
And Howie fits this role. Absolutely.
There you go.
Howie, what you drinking, buddy? As you know, this is the time of the show. What you drinking?
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of Glenfiddich single malts, 21-year-old Grand Reserva.
That's a long title. Good work.
It is. Just in case there's ever any video of this.
There will be. Yeah, there eventually will be.
It's the big ass fancy box.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this as part of a gift pack when I was at Transwest Air. So not Transwest Helicopters, but Transwest Air out in Prince Albert.
Right.
Yeah. We had a young lad who had been hired by the DOM before me to come and work on helicopters, and he wanted to be in Prince Albert. And the previous DOM was like, thanks for coming, but I got to put you in L'Orange and you're going to work fixed wing. But it's just for a bit. And then I'll move you down here. And 2 years later, he's still in L'Orange. He was still in L'Orange working fixed wing, which was not his first choice.
Yep.
He was a young guy. He's from Iraq. He's super keen. And as soon as I took the position, there was like 2 straight days of people calling, "Can I get a raise?" Nope. But he called and he was like, "Listen, I know everyone's calling you. I just wanted to say hi." And he told me his story that he was super keen for choppas and he'd been on fixed wing, and he was okay with it, but it wasn't his first love. And he really would appreciate it if I could move him down to Prince Albert. And I was like, well, I'll do what I can. I can't promise you anything, but if the opportunity comes up, I'll do it. And so about 2.5 months later, I actually managed to wrangle a little bit of slack from the owner to start hiring some more people. So I hired someone specifically to do his job in L'Orange.
So you can relocate him.
So I could relocate him down to Prince
Hey,
Albert, which
you
I
did him a solid. You did him a solid.
Yeah, well, we got to try to help everybody out
Right.
along the way. So I brought him down. He couldn't believe it. And the very first lunch after the first payday that he had, after that, I came back from lunch and found $827 worth of scotch on my desk.
Living.
Yeah. And this was part of it. Like, the kid blew like half his paycheck on booze for me.
Please, you got to give him a shout out. Go ahead. Say his name clearly and thank him up for that.
He's not in the business anymore.
Oh no. Okay.
And for no horrible reason, just it in the long run wound up being better for him to be back home.
Got it.
So I'll contemplate that. And
cheers to him then.
Yeah.
Cheers to him. Cheers to him, brother.
Cheers to my buddy.
I got myself a Gretzky double oak again here. It's a constant.
It seems to be.
It's a constant. It's always good stuff. It's actually from your old neck of the woods in the Niagara region there. Cheers.
Yeah.
That is just liquid gold, and that is proof that God loves us because he created alcohol for us. So good for us.
There you go.
What did I just see that? Alcohol is liquid sunshine held together by ice cubes.
Well, no ice cubes are contaminating this.
Yeah, no. You want to drink that pure, and it's just like it's.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it has not. It's not gotten any worse with age.
No.
It is. That was back. Happened. I got it just before we met, I think.
Wow.
Maybe. And so it's been sitting.
So she's 31 years old.
Special occasions only. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like
okay. Good.
Anyhow.
Well, good for the dude for ponying up and getting you the bottle of the good stuff. There you go. And we're at an age right now, Howie, and I think I can speak about this freely. We're at an age right now where somebody gives you a nice bottle of something, it's appreciated, and it's not going to be guzzled, right? We're not going to be sitting there.
Absolutely.
Could I mix it with 7-Up? You need to leave the house. Get out of the house.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah.
Do not darken my doorway again.
As my buddy Howie here, we're kind of going through what we do on the show now. Thanks for listening. Much appreciated. I love your input and your feedback on your stuff. So you know what time it is. It's icebreaker time.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you can compete in any Olympic sport and excel, what would it be?
Archery.
Oh, a little Robin Hoodism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy enough, long time ago, I had the opportunity to go to summer, like when I was a kid, my parents sent me to summer camp up in Northern Ontario, and they had an archery range, and I just hung out there the whole time, and got really good at it in a really short period of time and really enjoyed it. And Dad got me a bow and arrow for at home, and I used to shoot the crap out of targets in the backyard all the time. And
I was going to say, it's also probably a life skill as well.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. I mean,
we
zombie apocalypse.
I was going to say, we've all watched The Walking Dead. We know where to aim. Like,
yeah.
Center square eyeballs. Nice work. Nice
Roger.
work. if I could relive my Al Bundy years, I was a long jump, triple jumper sprinter. And
Wow.
yeah, so I was this little short kid that had monster quads with a 39-inch vertical, and I can jump. Oof. That's before I discovered the bar scene, alcohol, and women. So I was a pretty clean athlete back in the day.
There you
and
go.
I would say my favorite was always triple jump. And I think my furthest triple jump, I was 1 centimeter short of 13 meters. I was 12.99.
You got to be really good to do that. I don't understand that jump at all. It's like you jump, you jump, you jump.
Yeah.
And what did you just do? Why? I don't know how that's more efficient than just giving her
one-legged plant, right?
All saying.
Yeah. No, triple jump was always my favorite because, and I was an ambidextrous jumper too. That used to piss off my coach because there's times where my left leg was feeling real sore, and I'm going to start jumping with my right. He goes, "We didn't practice with you, right?" I'm like, "I'll be fine. We're okay." And actually, I'd probably do even better sometimes with my other leg here, but it was, I used to thrive in triple jump. Yeah, loved it very much.
Nice.
Oh, there we go. All right. Last but not least, because I know this is a society that we live in, would you rather always have a full phone battery or a full gas tank? Or full gas tank?
Full tank of gas.
Full tank of gas.
Without a doubt. We, Robin and I just took our Jeep Gladiator to the Arctic Ocean in October. And boy, it would have been nice to have a unending supply of gas going up there and back. It was a little bit spendy, but what a great trip. Oh my God.
It's not the most fuel efficient vehicle you can take up there.
Well, no, but it managed to bring our kitchen and our tents and the living area and all the things with us as well. So it saved us on hotel cost.
I got to sleep in it too. Then good for you.
Yeah,
attaboy. See, I'm a Tacoma owner, so we could potentially be some. No. Yeah, there's some riffs that I learned about driving. I've had this thing now about 4.5 years, and I've learned Jeep owners do not like Tacoma owners, and vice versa.
It's okay. You know what? Our little group out here, we've got everybody. Mm-hmm. We call ourselves a Jeep group, but we've got tacos all over the place. Yeah. We even got a guy with a brand new Bronco that he takes out on the trail. I don't know. Well, I think it's because we're waiting for him to break everything on the trail.
So you can laugh at him a little bit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We'll call you a tow truck.
There's that, there's the Tacoma joke that we use for Bronco owners is that if you want to go and see the mountains, take a Ford Bronco. If you want to come home from the mountains, take a Tacoma.
Yeah, for sure. We almost got a Bronco too. And then I talked Robin out of it.
That's a smart play. Play.
Worked out okay.
So we touched a little bit here on your personal side here before we get into the professional side of here. So you clearly like sailing still.
Yep.
Hiking, trail riding, going through with your Jeep. That's a bit of a hell of a passion there. And like I was going to say, you're a busy fellow, so I'm not quite sure how you find the time to do this.
Well, I'm not sure that I do. But it fits in there. We get out for a good run with the Jeep with the local crowd. Sunday Fun Day.
Oh, yeah.
And some pretty technical trails around here, South Island. Granite dunes and the can opener and all kinds of fun stuff that's all within a couple hours drive.
For those of you who can get there to it, Vancouver Island is God's country. It is paradise that's still attached to one of the greatest countries that we live in. So I thoroughly enjoy visiting. I thoroughly enjoy the delicatessens of every bit of it. Man, if I lived out there, I'd be 400 pounds on crab meat alone. I'd have a crabbing license. Yeah.
That's still on Robin's bucket list. We got to go crabbing. I'm deadly allergic to shellfish, so not for me. Yeah.
Howie Murray, I thought you'd be like the ultimate of carnivores here, and you can't eat crustaceans?
I know. I used to be able to. It's a very weird story, but when I was a kid, I used to eat shrimp and crab all the time. And then I had a little medical thing where they had to x-ray my kidneys using radioactive iodine. And I'm on the table. They're getting ready. Are you allergic to shellfish? No, I eat it all the time. Okay, great. So they shoot me full of this stuff, and all of a sudden I can't breathe anymore. And they're like, oh, you are allergic to shellfish. And I go,
no, I'm not. Hey, Howie, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can tell.
It's not a party it's not a party over a weekend until an X-ray shows up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they hit me with the antihistamine, and everything was fine. But ever since then, I've been I go into anaphylactic shock for shellfish.
Good to know this. Good to know this. The night that you spent over at my place the one time in transition from east to west, I believe, right? East to west to east,
right.
yeah.
West to east, yeah. I was headed back home.
Good thing we had nothing but, whiskey salad with iced croutons. So good to, well, again, congratulations on the house. Congratulations to you and Robin out there on the island. Like I said, you beat me at least by a decade there to kind of, that's my ultimate end up spot where I can kind of call myself retired. I'd be going out there soon enough. As you can tell, I'm getting the grays, so I'm trying to kind of fit in there. A
little bit. Got a little going there too.
Yeah.
Well, when you're ready, come on out.
It's like I got friends and family that welcome the exact same thing. So thanks for that, brother.
Nice. You bet.
Let's get into where you are and where you're going, my friend, or where it began for you.
Sure.
You mentioned the Navy. I'm going to say that's going to be probably in the early part of the mix, but I'll let you kind of tell us and my listeners here about where did Howie come from, where you start, and where you are.
Thank you to our sponsors, Safe Structure Designs. Safe Structure Designs specializes in custom aircraft maintenance stands and hangar equipment, boosting hangar efficiency by 50% and enhancing technician safety. With over 20 years of experience alongside real-world aircraft technicians, SAFE develops industry-leading ergonomic safety solutions. Why not take advantage of SAFE's free custom design process for your safety and efficiency needs and let them create your ideal solution? Visit www.safe-2.com to learn more.
Sure. In the beginning, there was a big bang. And then a bunch of shit happened.
Yeah.
And then I came along, and that's when it got interesting. I was in the Navy. I was on the West Coast. We were bopping around up the West Coast towards Alaska, and we stopped in at Prince Rupert, and it was Seafest weekend. And I got it in my head that I was going to get a ride in a helicopter because there's this big flyby that had been planned in Rupert for this Seafest. So I hiked my ass over to the Coast Guard station thinking, I work for the government. They're the government. Hey, give me a lift in the 61 for this event. And they were closed. They were all locked up. So I wound up next door at the little hangar that's right at the end of the driveway to the Coast Guard, and wound up talking with the duty pilot there, who was an Aussie, who was like...
always good people.
Yeah, absolutely, except he refused to take me on the flight because he had girls. He had a helicopter full of girls.
Priorities. And so I name dropped... very unashamedly name dropped my uncle. A higher ranking individual?
Yeah, a higher ranking individual.
Okay.
He was like,
let's get you on here, mate.
yeah, hang on, mate. I got room for you.
Yeah.
And so he bumped one of the Sheilas.
Oh, I dropped the Sheila for Howie. Good job.
Yeah. And I got a ride, and I got some cool video of the ships in the harbor and blah blah blah. And that was my first ride in this beater 206 that was just keeping up with everybody else by cutting the corners in the very disorganized, unplanned, circular. Everyone was circling around the end of the bay, and then someone would call, okay, I'm going next. And they'd peel out and go down. And it was very exciting at the time. And looking back on it, now that I'm in the business, I think that we might have had a bit more pre-talk about all of that.
Okay.
But it turned out okay. It was great. I mean, everyone was super professional, as you would expect in Prince Rupert. The level of professionalism and the skills of all the bush pilots up there was like, I'm going next. Okay, see you, George. Off you go.
So you're in the middle of the sticks.
Yeah.
You get the helicopter bug, and then you say, I should make this my career.
Yeah. Yeah. So my next posting was on board. I got sent to fill in on HMCS Preserver, which is the giant floating gas station and corner store for all of our other ships. And the ship was in the Adriatic doing the United Nations embargo of Yugoslavia. And we flew over in the back of a C-130 that was full of other stuff for the ship. And we wound up spending like 5 days in this little town in Italy, waiting for the ship to come down the Adriatic close enough for the Sea King to come and get us. And so that was my second ride in a helicopter, was the Sea King lift from this little town out to the ship. And while I was on the ship, I actually used up my allotted sat phone time to organize getting my ass into Canada College, which I did on the recommendation of a buddy of mine who I was in high school with him, and he went to RMC and became a pilot and was a helicopter dude already. And he knew of Canada College and their program. And so there I went. I got hired by Tundra Helicopters in between first and second year. So I had a summer of logging on 58 Ts.
Wow.
With Tundra, which was
old birds.
Amazing. Yeah, I love those.
Snorting 58s.
Yeah, screaming Mimi.
Yeah.
And just like right in, probably not the heyday of 58s, but maybe the last big push of 58s. I was on a fire in Saskatchewan with 4 of them. 2 Tundra machines and Snuffy, which belongs to Al Strom at Bow. I think they were Bow helicopters maybe at the time. That he had a bunch of round motor 58s. And then Campbell was there with turbine 58 as well. And it was a big party. 58 guys doing stuff. So I did my second year in school. I got rehired by Tundra. That was going great. And then the logging market dropped out and low man on the totem pole got axed. And I wound up at Campbell Helicopters, where I finished up my apprenticeship. And, I think in the industry, there's, everybody's got their favorite places and they're not favorite places. And I got to say that I feel like being an apprentice at Campbell was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because, one, I got to apprentice under Adolf Hahn, and he is a freaking legend in the medium world. Like, he's forgotten more about 205s than I or anybody else almost could hope to know. And he was always very calm and very he was a great mentor. He would never give you the answer. He would always push you in the right direction to find the answer for yourself.
Allowed you to discover it.
And he let us do stuff like, hey, you 2 apprentices, there's a couple of blades, there's a rotor head, put that together and go track and balance it. And so, you would read we had the books open and rereading the paragraph. Okay, did we just do that? We did that. Okay, we're good. Let's do the next thing. That was great. Servo installs and alignments, rotor heads, engine changes, hot ends, tail boom installs, like all of this stuff that we just got to be right in the middle of.
You got your fingers really into the dirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for him for kind of allowing that to happen to you, because I know we spoke about this a couple of shows ago, even like Kevin Shedd, who's expressed the exact same thing, kind of allowing these guys to kind of there's been even a couple of guests that have referenced this. So it seems like it's a good method where if you're going to train on something, train to the point where if you come up with a question, you should be able to figure out your own answer without actually it being told to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was part of Adolf's technique was you'd come to him with a problem and he would go, well, tell me about it. And it was a very
goddamn well he knew what was wrong with it, just wasn't going to share it with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He knew what was going wrong while he was watching us do it out of the corner of his eye. Right. And he just keep asking. It's the Socratic methods. Socrates had a way of just asking you questions until you figured it out. Right. So that was his deal.
He's understanding your issues with the problems at the same time. He's seeing what you're going through and understanding what you're going through while he's understanding you. It's a creation theory. Yeah.
It's it was great, and it really helped us, all of us, learn fast.
Little trial by fire, but it seems like you've done pretty good now. Because what are you, 30 plus years now?
Just hovering around 30.
Okay.
Or thereabouts. That would have been
Tres decades over there. That Howie guy.
Mayweather. So from there, I got my license at Campbell. We had just had, my wife and I just had our first child, Emily, and we wanted to move back to Ontario to be closer to family. So I took a job with HTSC, Helicopter Transport Services Canada, recently renamed from Hewison. They had just changed names. Went there and was part of the medium program, but also got my hands on a 61 for a very tiny little bit, and I got to poke around an S76 and a Triple Deuce, and a fair bit of work the one winter on a couple of 206 that were going through big overhaul. But the summertime was always going out with 205 on fire.
Safe to say that. I was just going to say, safe to say that your platform of choice, and by deletion of talking about others, is going to be the medium platform, 204, 205, 212s.
Thank you to our sponsor, Rotorcraft Repair and Manufacturing, manufacturer of DSX, Dragon Skin Extreme, an FFA approved rotor blade leading edge erosion corrosion protective coating with a proven record of durability in harsh environments like sand and rain. Contact Seth at rotorcraft.biz and stop wasting money on other so-called erosion coatings.
Yeah, that was the first machine that I was licensed on. Was 204. I got 204, 205, 212, 412 all in one shot, which probably shouldn't have happened, but I had a little bit of experience on all of it, mostly on the 205. And back in the day, before they switched over to the new style of licensing, I picked up so that everybody who's old has those historic records of what you were. Yeah. I don't want to, kind of old.
Yeah, listen, we're like fine wine is what I'm going to tell everybody. So
yeah, well, yeah. So that's what's on my historic, whatever that is.
Sure.
Historic record there is 204, 205, 212, 412, and 58.
So you're at HSTC.
Yeah, I did a couple years there. It was actually very interesting. I got to work on a 205, single hydraulic 205 that presented a weird little problem to us right off the bat.
Like a super single?
No, like single hydraulics. So the dual hydraulics system. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One hydraulic pump.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So
that's the haircut, right?
That's right. We're bombing along. We've just left to go on fires. We're going east to Quebec to work for something. And the pilot and I are fat, dumb, and happy, 2,500 feet. And all of a sudden, the machine just gallops. Like it's just rocking fore and aft in the air like we're on a horse. And I look at him and he looks at me and I'm like, you can quit that anytime now. And he's like, I don't know. That's not me. I don't know what's the thing. And so I started looking for a place to land and it went away. So he's like, okay, what was that? And I'm like,
a good French accent. Okay. Yeah. Well done.
I'm like, I don't know. And so I was very young. I just got my license and I had maybe 3 summers of bombing around in 205, but not a lot of experience. And so, I mean, knowing what I know about it now and what it was, yeah, we were absolutely fine. We just kept on going. And so it kept on happening, and he kept on telling me, and I did a little bit of research, and I talked with the DOM, and it was all brand new. It's pylon rock is what it is. And it's usually because your transmission damper mounts are getting weak and not dampening out the movement of
The vibration of it. Okay.
But it can also happen in a single hydraulic 205 if you're not flying with enough cyclic friction. Totally bizarre, random bit of trivia that got passed on by the DOM at the time, and sure enough, he's bombing around with zero cyclic friction. And he comes from the pilot had come from a long history of long ranger. He always used to fly that with no friction on, so he hadn't adapted to the new machine yet. But it took us a couple of days to sort that one out.
This is the beautiful thing about, and I can say this with a smile on my face here. This is what makes you a good heli nerd, right? Like us heli nerds, when we get our shit in our ears like this, and we kind of like, now how do we go fix it?
Yeah,
like that's the part that was like you said, like how if I was in the back in the cargo area, you started bucking like, hey, quit messing around up there. What's going on? And you guys are looking at each other like, wasn't me. I'm like, crap. This is not a good day.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just gotta
have
a little faith in the machine, and I mean, in the grand scheme of things, one of the best things I ever learned from Adolf was just after we had put together a head, and we had done the whole from the transmission up had been overhauled in the winter, and we had just assembled it all, and we were doing the initial track and balance, and we did a run. And it told us what to do for the move, and we did the move, and we did another run, and it didn't do what we wanted it to. It went off the point went off in way wonky direction. So we're like, weird. And again, it's a bunch of young guys, and so we did that once more, and then I'm in the middle. We did the move. We went for a flight, came back, and instead of drawing the point into the center of the chart, it went off in another weird direction. And so
what did I break now?
What? Yeah, so in my head, I'm like, oh, this is where you need to build a chart corrector, and so I nerd out, and I'm cutting this little piece of paper to make a chart corrector back before we had machines that would tell us what to do,
right? Kind
of thing. This is old school chart plotting on your own. And Adolf walks out, and he's just like, yeah, what's this going on? And we're like, well, this is what happened, and this is what happened, and now this has happened, so we're doing this. And he goes, nope.
9.
Something is broken. Going to look. And we're like, broken? It's all fresh out of overhaul. Like, what could possibly be broken? And he goes, nope, something is broken. Going to look. And we went and looked, and it turns out that there had been a new guy on overhaul, and he had assembled the scissors incorrectly with the triplex bearing with the spacer on the wrong side. And 2 of the bearings were completely shattered.
Right out of the cage.
Third one was ready to go. Like, it just came out as grease and balls and
you guys are lucky.
In chunks. We are super lucky. If we had done another flight, that would have been it. That would have come apart.
Yep.
So the thing I learned from Adolf is when the pilot comes back at the end of the day and says, hey, there's a weird thing going on. Come and I'll show you. Stop. Don't go for that ride. Look. Listen to what he says. Go and investigate and grab hold of everything and give it a yank and figure out, reasonably so, whether it's something that you really need to pay attention to on the ground before you go up and listen to it.
Don't become airborne when the problem reestablish itself.
Yeah. Figure it out. Do a little bit of work to figure it out on the ground before you just jump in and go. And it's not the fault of the pilot, or it's not the fault of anybody. No. That's the tendency, right? Like, oh, it does this thing. When I turn left, it does a thing. Come on, I'll show you. And you're like, oh, that seems reasonable. Let's go find out. But But don't do that. Go figure out why it does the thing when you turn left first.
PSA for all of our pilots and AMEs listening.
Yeah.
Solid advice. Good advice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, take it or not, but it has served me well over the years.
Attaboy. Thanks, Adolf.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're there now. You're plowing through HSTC. You and I meet not long after that.
Yeah.
You're out in Saskatchewan. You do kind of your director of maintenance and PRMing out there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, that was so there was a little while in between that. So HTSC went to air crane. I was a crane guy for a couple of years. Much the same thing as with Tundra. There was a downturn in the logging market, so they let the new guys go. And I went from there to National Helicopters.
Good old Mr. Monroe.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wound up as DOM there for a very short period of time. And I went from DOM at National to, you may or may not be aware, but I wound up putting turbine engines into boats.
Yeah. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yes, that is an interesting bullet point. Okay.
Yeah. So that was next, along with I still went out contracting in the summer months and here and there on mediums.
You had a very interesting contract. I remember when you and I were talking one time. You were in South Africa.
The Vertical MRO podcast is powered by Vertical Magazine, the rotorcraft industry's #1 trusted multimedia resource. Visit Vertical Mag Media on YouTube to gain access to exclusive videos featuring operators in the field and more unique content from the pages of Vertical. Subscribe today to stay informed and inspired.
Central. So I spent some time in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right when Ebola hit 2014.
Yeah. You sent me pictures of those 139s with a terrible amount of pigeon shit all over them.
Yeah. That was actually more recent than that. That was North Africa. That was, I spent a year and a half in Algeria, 10th largest country in the world, and user of the AW139 for search and rescue, based out of a little Air Force base / civilian airport in a town called Schlef in North Africa, which is sort of smack in the middle between Algiers, which is the capital city in the east, and Oran, which is the biggest city in the west. Sort of those are the two ends of the rail line. Mm-hmm. And it's a very historic place. Algiers to Oran and the train is how a great number of people escaped the Nazis in World War II.
Oh, wow.
You would take the train to Iran, hop on a ship, and they would take you to England. So the whole place is just filled with history. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But so the air base there, I was a tech rep for Leonardo for a bit.
Got it.
And I would say there was some challenges. Definitely some challenges with the guys over there. I mean, we could get into it, but I don't.
We'll keep it polite.
It's the weird thing about working overseas, right? We have such a high standard in Canada that we don't sometimes realize exactly how high a standard we have. Mm. And when you see some operations overseas in some maybe not so nice places of the world, you see a lot of bush fix, we'll call it,
sure,
going on, where they don't necessarily have the tech support that they probably require to do the job. I mean, they're doing it, and I would say it is mostly successful. I would also say that my contract stipulated that I was never ever to fly in those aircraft.
Why? Why not, Howie? Why?
Well, it's simply a government thing. Yeah, that's it.
Stand by for this message. Beep.
Yeah. So they had a lot of challenges with the pigeon population in that hangar, and let's just say that those poor machines, all 11 of those 139s, spent a great deal of time as targets for the pigeons.
Expensive target for pigeons.
Yeah.
We're just going to label as that. Yep.
It was a bit of a challenge at times. trying to do the right thing and help these guys out because their previous training was all Russian ships,
Right.
which have their own unique quality to them when it comes to maintenance, which is a bit more sledgehammer and a little less
Finesse.
yeah. Well, I mean,
More sledgehammer, less micrometer.
yeah, a little bit. And I mean, all my buddies over at VIH, they're off the CAMON program. I'll probably poke me in the eye for that one. But come on, it's true. The thing's a tank. The thing is a tank. Yeah, they had a bit of difficulty moving from the firm equipment to a sophisticated helicopter, which I would say the 139 is definitely the Italian sports car of the helicopter world.
Okay. I've heard it called other things. I don't know if Italian sports car was there though, but okay. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on which Italian sports car and what kind of reputation it has. They are a 14-passenger flying computer, for sure. And there's some very odd things about it that don't jive with my helicopter brain. For instance, coming from the Bell Medium world, you get on the 139, and I don't know what it's like now because I haven't been on one in a while, but when I was there, the allowable leak limit for components on the 139 is goose egg, 0, none. It's if it's leaking oil, you pull it and send it back, and it goes for overhaul. Okay. There's no field replaceable seals, blah blah blah. And again, this is this was a few years ago. I don't know if they've come up with something different. But on a Bell, right, you've got a page that's the allowable leak limit. If you're getting this many drips per hour, you're good to go. And
yeah,
that's not how those other machines work. And they had a tough time sort of making that work for them in their desert operations. Algeria is the majority owner of the Sahara Desert, and their combat search and rescue squadron, they've got 139s with all of the goodies on them: chaff and flare dispensers, infrared sensors for detecting missile lock, the whole machine gun mounts.
So they're tricked out.
They are as tricked out as you get. They got the hoist, they've got the fast rope, they've got mounted crew serve weaponry in them. I guess just like the automotive side of the world, they're sexy looking and they sure look fast standing still. But something goes wrong. It's all got to go back to the shop. Well, yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, they had there was a bit of a thing there. I think pretty sure I can talk about it because it is public knowledge. But the dude at Leonardo that ran the deal for selling those things to Algeria got in a little bit of caca over it. There was a bit of, I don't know if it was overpromise or what the details were, but they definitely had a certain expectation that they were going to get a bit more support than maybe they had. And it wasn't that they weren't getting support, because they were. I think they just been led to believe that what we would say is a common item, like air conditioner belts. They all the machines have air conditioners. They've all got life limited air conditioner belts. So, hey guys, your belts are expired. You're going to have to replace them. Yeah, give us new ones. No, that's not how that works. So we don't give them to you. It's not a warranty item. They go, yeah, but we just spent like $24 million a pop on these things or whatever it is that they spent on them.
Yeah.
And, whatever.
Well, we'll leave it at the fact that it was more sizzle was sold instead of the steak.
I think that might be true.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that.
That gig was what I wound up doing right after I think I met you in Saskatchewan when I was at Transwest Air. Mm-hmm. So I went from Transwest Air. I got a call while I was there from these guys asking if I would go back to do some more tech rep work. And it was very tough to turn down. There were some significant dollars involved.
Sure.
And you do what you do, right? I really did hate to go. Like, I had such a great rapport with the guys at Transwest. I miss you all, guys. It was awesome. And it is the one place where I was a DOM where, like, I got goodbye gifts and stuff. I got
wow,
wickedly cool.
Usually it's a pat on the back and see you later, but they actually give you gifts.
Yeah, I got a side table. It's a little round maple top with the Bell helicopter logo routed into it and filled with epoxy. And it's 3 legs, and the 3 legs are Bell 47 blades.
Oh,
tailrotor blades.
Oh, the old bubbles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had an old cast off Bell 206 tail rotor, and everybody signed it. It was great. It was like, good luck in Africa. Don't get eaten, or because Africa is not Papua New Guinea is where they can't
pet the lions. Don't pet the lions.
Don't pet the lions. Yeah. It was great. That was really good. It was really good. I felt bad leaving the guys because it was a challenging environment there, as it is in most places, right? Mm-hmm. We're always challenged by what we do, which is a good thing, right? It exercises your brain. How are we going to get this done? How are we going to do it?
Sure. That's been a general common theme of the last few guests that we've had on, because we've had some guests that have been different corners and dark parts of the planet, and having to make the decision of, okay, how do I fix this thing in the middle of nowhere? Right. Yeah. So that's the executive part of the brain where it goes, this is where I'm going to take control. This is how we're going to do it. And I'm going to need all the manpower I can possibly get to get it going. Stand by for a message after a word from our sponsors.
Thank you to our sponsors, Safe Structure Designs. Safe Structure Designs specializes in custom aircraft maintenance stands and hangar equipment, boosting hangar efficiency by 50% and enhancing technician safety. With over 20 years of experience alongside real-world aircraft technicians, SAFE develops industry-leading ergonomic safety solutions. Why not take advantage of SAFE's free custom design process for your safety and efficiency needs and let them create your ideal solution? Visit www.safe-2.com to learn more. Thank you to our sponsor, Rotorcraft Repair and Manufacturing, manufacturer of DSX, Dragon Skin Extreme, an FFA-approved rotor blade leading-edge erosion corrosion protective coating with a proven record of durability in harsh environments like sand and rain. Contact Seth at rotorcraft.biz and stop wasting money on other so-called erosion coatings.
The Vertical MRO podcast is powered by Vertical Magazine, the rotorcraft industry's #1 trusted multimedia resource. Visit Vertical Mag Media on YouTube to gain access to exclusive videos featuring operators in the field and more unique content from the pages of Vertical. Subscribe today to stay informed and inspired.
Hey everybody, this is Val here with Vertical MRO. Thanks for listening to this part 1 of our series. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review. Your support does help and create more content like this. For those of you who want to continue the conversation, join us on our social media channels and platforms or visit our website over at verticalmag.com. We'd love to hear all your thoughts and questions about today's topics. Until next time, I'm Val. This is Vertical MRO. We'll be seeing you.
This has been the Vertical MRO Podcast. Join us next time for another edition of the Vertical MRO Podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts.